Uh, so what I'm gonna present for you today is like the title. Rifat asked me for a title for this conference, and I was thinking about it. Do we know anything beyond a GIST, like in terms of mesenchymal tumors? Because we are so GIST oriented. So every time you see a tumor in the GI tract that looks like it's fleshy and it's firm, we don't think about anything else, GIST. And why is that?
It's the most common.
It's the most common, right? So the chances are that you're gonna be right? But then you forget all the other things, specifically if you're just like, I mean, you guys are fresh, you guys are looking at everything, but when you go into specialties, then you forget about everything else. In the GI tract, there is only one tumor, GIST. I don't care because I don't even know the names out there anymore for the other tumors, right? So, but anyways, hey, get us a kit, the problems are done. But it's not always like this, right? So who is going to volunteer? Remember, I'm not going to judge you. I just want somebody to volunteer because that's the way to learn. Even if you say everything wrong or right or whatever it is. Every time I focus here, I'm going to have to leave at 9 o'clock sharp. I have a meeting at 10 that I'm also presenting, whatever. You don't even know. But let's start. We know that we are in the GI tract. That much we know. Any suggestions here in terms of what location?
Looks like pylorus.
Stomach. I heard somebody saying antrum. And why is that?
Because you have antral type mucosa.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
Pyloric gland. Yeah.
You're right. Which also, it's a good clue for this probably lesion. Is there a lesion? You're not in focus, right? Every time I focus here, you're going to have to look at the microscope also. So stop me when you see something.
Yeah, here.
Oh, there is a lesion here. Okay, let's get one person out. Do you want to volunteer since you started? You're next to me. How is the light? Is it better?
Yeah.
Okay. Helping the microscope. It's my first time using a microscope, so I don't know how to. Okay, let's get this started.
So it's a submucosal lesion. That's the epicenter of this. So it's spindle cell.
Okay. I'm gonna go to high power. I'm just gonna, drive you through.
I'm seeing some open channels. I'm not sure if it's lymphatics or vasculature. Looks more.
Okay. Do you think it's a gist?
Could be. I mean, it has a spindle spindle appearance to it, but there's a lymphocytic infiltration here. But since the topic is what do you know beyond GIST, I'm thinking it might not be. There's that lymphocytic cuffing that I'm seeing here as well.
Okay, so you're describing perfectly. You included GIST in your differential. Anything else you want to say about this? Let's go to these spindle areas, right? Because now we're going to go to high power. We use high power, right? Sometimes.
Sometimes.
If you're in a hurry, you're not going to use it. That's it. Or you're just going to go to high power, one or the other. Is there anything in this vessel that you want to mention? I'm going to go back. Don't suffer. I'm just. There was one area here also that I think that it's. I'm going to be asking you guys also for any other suggestions, but there was this. What do you think of this background tissue or stroma? Well, you can't really appreciate as much as I can here. I'm trying to show you some fiber myxoid, and that vessel that I showed you was kind of like hyalinized. Let me get another HNC. I'm sweating, and this is horrible for me because this slide gets stuck here if you don't have the driver. Sorry, I'm being like an attending, nasty. It's horrible to be like this, but sometimes you have to.
Yeah, here you see more of that
Yeah.
bluish myxoid.
Yeah,
Stroma.
and like you said, the spindle thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Spindle, and we're gonna go there again, this area here. I just wanted to show you something else. This is very spindling, right?
Yeah, especially around the blood vessels here.
Let's go to high power. What about this area here?
So there, these vessel the wall seems to be hyalinized and spindle.
Yeah.
Or, I'm sorry, yeah, hyalinized.
Yeah, hyalinized. That's a great definition. And let's go to these areas here.
Yeah, and there's like areas that are more collagenous, like more collagenous, and then more hyalinized. So,
Yeah.
or areas where there's more condensation.
So what is your differential diagnosis here? We talked about this. Are you guys getting a good picture here on the screen? Yeah. Okay. So what would be your differential diagnosis here? You describe certain features of an entity. So what was that?
Let's see.
So GIST is the first, right? Because that's the whole thing about mesenchymal tumors. And GIST may have like different patterns, right?
Spindle,
like plasmacytoid, epithelioid, and whatever you name it, clear cells, you can have any type of thing. But with this description, he describes something very particular for something. Not yet, Rafat. You're not going to say anything until he says something. So you start describing things that you see in the soft tissue counterpart, which I'm even impressed because not with you. I don't know. You did a great description, but I'm impressed that usually certain features of this tumor you don't see in the GI tract. You see more in the soft tissue, but you do have here.
Maybe like a fibromatosis or something.
Fibromatosis, yeah. But remember when I went to this area here and you said, okay, spindle, like you all see here, then you have this hyalinized, then you have this area here.
Lymphoid.
This
like schwannoma.
Schwannoma. Every time you see a spindle cell lesion with a peritumoral lymphoid cuff, this is going to be schwannoma until proven otherwise, okay? This is one of the few features that you're going to find in the soft tissue and the GI tract, because in the soft tissue, you find it's usually encapsulated. In the GI tract, you can't find, usually, you don't find, like 100%, almost, never say 100%, but 99% of the cases will not be, this is not me, right?
It's an amber. Everybody's getting one.
Oh, okay, some floating or whatever. So basically, you're not going to see encapsulation. Another finding that we don't see usually is the varicose bodies, like all these, the typical schwannoma pattern, you don't see, you just see that spindle cells there. They're usually very bland. And hyalinized vessels, plus and minus, you can see, and maybe it's not going to be there. So if you want to pay attention to schwannomas of the GI tract, usually it's in the stomach, it's in the antrum, just as said, females, and you're going to see peritumoral lymphoid cuff, You're not going to see encapsulation. You may see highly nice vessels. So these are the things that you want to see. The fibromyxoid stroma is usually present, okay, which also just can give that thing, that pattern, okay. So just pay attention. This fibromyxoid stroma is what they call the microtrabecular, pattern that you may have there, or the microfascicular, like they look like almost like fascicles. Okay, so again, every time you see this, think of GIST, but then you say, okay, my other possibility, yes, it is schwannoma. I need to get my panel. And again, what is the panel for the mesenchymal lesions in the or the spindle cell lesions in the GI tract? Just shout out for me.
CD117, S100.
What else?
Dog one.
HMB45.
No. In terms of, yes, HMB45 could be, if you're thinking of melanoma, if it's really ugly, then you're going to think of melanoma always. This is a good thought. Remember that the other time, when I was here, I said, always think about melanomas everywhere. Every time you see something in spindle. But your panel for mesenchymal lesions, spindle cell lesions, is going to be c-KIT, the 117, right? You don't need to go with dog one up front, but yes, dog one is always, I mean, if you have in your institution, like you can order, but I try, like, again, I try not to order like tons of stains up front because I don't need. I'm sorry, this is me now. And it's a dog barking, right? You know why? Because I was deaf after my cold. I had a cold, I think I told you guys, and I couldn't hear anything. And I said, how am I gonna hear the phone? I have to put a dog or something to. This is my brother. Dude, eu tô no meio da conferência. Sorry. So anyways, going back, CD117, S100, okay, CD34, SMA, and desmin. That's what you have to do. So dog one, I do it if CD117 is negative. And if CD117 is positive and S100 is positive, then this could be equal to a melanoma, right? Remember that S100 also can stain GIST. But just because of the possibility of melanoma, then I'm going to go to dog one. And remember that melanomas can be CD117. c-KIT, let me say c-KIT, it would be easier. So c-KIT, melanomas can stain positive for c-KIT. Are you following me or I'm complicating you?
No.
No, I'm not confusing you, right? Okay, so this is your panel. This is what you start with. And so, which stain do you want to see? CD117? Be careful with interpretation. How is the interpretation? How does the CD117 stain? What is the pattern? In terms of membranous, cytoplasmic, nuclear, what is that? Membranous and cytoplasmic, but it can be also nuclear, it can be anything. It can be the three. Okay? But you're never gonna see only nuclear. So your best control is your mast cells. Yeah. Okay, internal control. Here, right? You see that, right? They're all positive. Look at the lesion. The lesion is not. This is just a blush. This is not staining. The lesion is here. Right? All negative. What is next?
S100.
You're gonna go to S100, like boom. Here. Positive or negative? Positive, right? So what do you think about so CD34 is positive, like locally, just like focally, not much, so it's not impressive. And I brought also the desmin, which was negative. I'm not going to show you. So what do you think about schwannomas? What are you going to tell your clinician? Like, hey, this patient's gonna have some problem and then die. You're not gonna say that, right? Of course. But what are you gonna tell them?
As long as they shelled it out,
That
they should be fine.
He shouldn't worry about it because most likely it's a benign if it's excised. the patient is going to be fine, right? So you don't have to worry about it. And, like, do not, I mean, they will follow like just regular things, but the patient, can go home and enjoy his or her life, most likely her life, because it's going to be a female. Okay? So you don't have to worry about that. Do you find malignant, malignant peripheral nerve sheath tumor in the GI tract? Yes, you may, but it's so rare. So again, what are the features? They're not very established, but again, you're going to go with the size, everything that is like almost in GI is like 5 centimeters, like for GIST. So you use the GIST kind of criteria for high risk and low risk, and you'll be fine. If you start seeing necrosis, if you see pleomorphism, if you see mitosis, invasion, and all that, then probably it's one, like you should talk to your clinician and say, listen, this could be bordering something malignant. So I think you should pay attention to that. Other than that, it's completely fine, okay? In my mind, in my experience, is that there is not such a benign mesenchymal lesion in the GI tract. Even if you tell me it's a leiomyoma, you go like, I've seen these people with the history of leiomyomas, and 10 years later, something else is, oh yeah, they had a leiomyoma. And it looks like benign histological, but hey, who am I? There are certain mesenchymal tumors that you have to be aware of it, that they're going to behave, malignant, in a malignant fashion. But I think that as a general rule, I think mesenchymal lesions, you should be a little bit cautious, okay?
What would be the symptoms for this lesion?
Oh, it's the typical GI, nothing more than dyspepsia, bleeding, like, there's nothing specific. The thing is, like, sometimes they really grow in the lumen, and then they cause obstruction, outlet obstruction, things like that. But usually it's the same thing. There is nothing specific that you look at it in terms of clinical findings and say this is a schwannoma. They're all the same. There's nothing specific. That's what irritates me in GI, is that patient has a biopsy of the esophagus and it's dyspepsia, or odynophagia, whatever. The three things that everybody has it, and it's like, you're not telling me anything. It's the same thing for every, like for every biopsy. So it's different from other parts of the body.
Do you use Sox-10?
I do use Sox-10 a lot. Yeah, it was developed at NYU. That's what I say. This is probably one of the things that I'm proud of. Is that they have the Sox-10 there. When I came in, they didn't use it. So I kind of resurrected, and I try to use Sox-10 all the time, like if I can. Okay, moving on. This is, I just want to see show the right part. Yes. Who's going to take this next? We're going to have to speed it up, right? Because we have 12 cases and I wanted to show them. Otherwise, I'm going to go nuts if I don't. I'm going to have to cancel my other meeting. Okay, I'm not going to do this. Let's do that. Let's go fast. Wake up, guys. Just, engage here. I'm trying to wake up also and not thinking about the 500 things that I have to do. I cancel an appointment to be here with you guys. Well, it's just a health appointment. Who cares, right? So wake up. Let's go.
The vascular lesion. We're in the GI tract again.
Yeah.
So it looks the same. Stomach, antrum.
Antrum. Okay. This is nothing. This is just, like probably inverted, like the foveolar epithelium went down here for whatever reason. So this is not part of the tumor or the lesion. This is the lesion, right?
Again, another spindle lesion with prominent vasculature. This area looks more epithelioid. This area looks a little more.
Yeah, you described it perfectly.
Spindle and
fast.
And there are areas that are more edematous.
Do you see a peritumoral lymphoid cuff?
Not this time, no.
Not this time. Could this be schwannoma?
Sure. It doesn't.
I mean, why not, right? But again, go to your H&E morphology.
Right.
So based on this morphology, would you think of a schwannoma?
Thinking more like epithelioid gist.
That's a good thought. Do you guys all agree? Okay. Um, the stomach, do you see more epithelioid or spinal cell type of gist?
I'm not sure.
Epithelioid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what is the panel? What is the panel you want to order here?
So I'll do a CD34, a C-Kit, S100, Desmond, and SMA.
Perfect. That's all you need, right? So let's start with CD117, right? Why is that? Because we think this is GIST. In each mesenchymal lesion, we think is GIST, right? So probably we should just order one on CD117 next time. This is CD117. I'm just showing to you because, you know, this is a very good case of a very epithelioid. Usually they ask you to kind of like, and I do also in my report, if I see a mixed, they usually are mixed. If you submit an entire sections, you know, the entire team, it's going to be probably mixed. Right. But there is a predominance one, you know, of one pattern over the other. And I try to break down the percentage because sometimes, you know, the metastasis is going to be just, you know, the spindle component and they go crazy, or maybe the epithelioid that can be very epithelioid and they don't even think about GIST until they go back and say, yeah, this patient had a history of an epithelioid GIST, and that's what we're looking here in the liver. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So then they kind of like, yeah, they kind of can correlate and helps the pathologist. Mm-hmm. So the all the other markers, S100 and DESMI and everything else, were all negative. So this is, which stain is that? Would you suggest anything? This is a tumor. This is what it's staining. Yeah.
Smooth muscle.
Yeah, smooth muscle. And then the S100, which is negative, okay? So I think this is a good thing. So how do you, another thing, just are usually not a benign thing, even if it's a low risk. To me, it's like there is something there that is not really good. So you have to be aware of it. The other thing is, how do you grade them? What are the criteria? What is the criteria to put your report out there?
The size, the location, and the mitotic.
Okay. So the size. What is the size?
Well, it depends on where you are.
Yeah, but as a general rule.
More than 5 centimeters?
Yeah, so I call it the rule of 5, which is, for me, it's easy. It's like the 5 centimeter and 50 mitotic fields, right? 5 centimeter and 5 mitosis per 50 high power field. That's what I meant to say. So it's kind of almost like the 5 instead of 1 is a 50. But I think it's easier, and also depends on the location because, you know, a small ball, even if they are like up to 2 or 3 centimeters, they are already into intermediate to high risk. Okay, usually you don't have, if you see atypia, you don't have to go crazy with that, like very, you know, pleomorphism or anything that resembles malignancy, because in the end, what is going to come to for the clinicians to treat them, it's the mutation analysis, of course, right? And all the morphologic features that we just described, the 5 things, the mitosis, the size, and the location. So basically, and I'm saying that because when I first started practicing, when I was fresh out of the fellowship, I wrote this entire comment on these bizarre cells and all that. And I called the clinician, and it was less than 5 centimeters, it was less than 5 mitotic figures and everything else. So morphologically, it looked very ugly, but everything else, it didn't fit for the criteria of like high risk or high progression, risk to progression. But I wanted to tell the guy that and then he was like, you know, we see this all the time. You know, it's a common thing to see. So I'm not going to treat this patient just based on your, you know, like description, your histologic description. So somebody that was working with me decided to send it to Fletcher, and Fletcher just called low risk also based on the other criteria. Mm-hmm. And pretty much ignore these malignant, quote unquote, malignant cells. So if you come across a GIST that it's really ugly, but it's not fitting the criteria for high risk to progression, you don't have to struggle. The patients will not need to be treated just based on these ugly cells that you find there. That's what I'm trying to tell you here. You're gonna see it and it's fine, okay? I mean, it's fine if it's all the other criteria are not for malignancy. I think we have a very interesting one here. Okay. Do you guys do mutational analysis in ALGIS here?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Yeah, we don't do either, but we're supposed to. That's the correct way to do it. Just get it. It's a gist, and you send automatically for mutation analysis. But we don't do it unless if they request us to do it. So again, it looks like that we are in the stomach, right?
Enter.
Enter. Everything is like enter. Are you guys enjoying so far?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I need reassurance. This is my entire life needing reassurance. So it's not today that I'm not going to need. I will need. Yeah. So what do we have here? Blood, right? Then
We're deeper. It's not submucosal. We're in the muscular layer.
could this be a gist? By now, you should say yes.
Very epithelial.
Right? It doesn't matter. The answer yes. I usually say the answer is always no, but in this case, today the answer is yes. The answer is no for everything. If they ask you, no. The answer is no for everything. But today the answer is yes to gist.
The cells look more discohesive here too.
Okay.
Like
Any particular feature? That's gonna be a cool one.
You look lymphoid a little bit.
Lymphoid?
No, too much cytoplasm. Very epithelial.
Okay. Uh-huh. Urethra. Any guess?
Again, it is epithelial, it looks more like a lot of vascularity. So of course, we need to rule out this, but at the same time, other epithelial tumors need to be thought of also. Maybe I would like to rule out even a epithelial tumor in this case.
Okay.
At least I would like to, but the tumor seems to be more uglier than what we saw before. At least there is no mitosis. But
Very bland, right?
yeah.
Could this be a ground?
Yeah, something like that.
Why you say that? Lungs.
Because it's very monomorphic and small
Mhm.
and it has vasculature.
So which stains you want to for
It would
glomus?
be SMA.
How often do you see glomus in the GI tract?
Not really. We see a lot of in the soft tissue.
With this morphology, it can be actually. It looks very much, and the cytoplasm of the cells.
You guys are good. That's what it is. When you see this picture, no matter what, this morphology, you see the vessels, the cells look like they're rising from this, almost like this endothelium, right?
Mhm.
It's almost like what they call the glomus body, right? I mean, if you have this in your mind, they're very typical, they are very round. You don't see from the nucleoli. They're just like, very bland, and they're all around this vessel. It looks like they're merging or coming off, the wall of these vessels. And so what is a glomus tumor? Does anybody know?
It's a perivascular. Periendocyte.
Yeah.
Pericyte.
So what is the location that usually you see them?
In the finger.
Yeah, it's in these extremities in the fingers, right? The tips of your fingers, and usually they're kind of painful, right? Of course, in the GI tract, it's not the same thing, but they do have the same pattern of staining in terms of like you do your SMA or your smooth muscle, caldesman, whatever it is, and it's usually going to be positive for that, and it's negative for anything else. So this is basically a morphologic diagnosis. You go with the pattern that you just described. You know that around the vessels almost is parasitic, right? Hemangioparasitic type of thing. And then you suspect that this could be glomus because it's very vascularized, it's very epithelioid. And then you go with your smooth muscle markers. And of course, you include your keratins because it's kind of epithelioid also and all that. So you expect everything to be negative, and this is going to be positive for your smooth muscle. And that's how you make the diagnosis. They're usually kind of benign also. You don't see them to be malignant, but they can recur. So here is a good internal control, right? The muscle, the stress appropriate, and then you have these guys all being positive. So yeah, they are not very common. We had, ever since I came to NYU, I think we had like 3 or 4. I think this is one of the most recent. So we're trying to describe, we had like in our files 2 more, so we have like 5 that I was able to pull them out. And we're kind of trying to do some molecular studies with one person from Colombia, Dr. Sepulveda, Antonia Sepulveda. She's a GI pathologist, and she's also a molecular pathologist. And she's trying to discover, what is the molecular related to these tumors. So yes, they do exist. So basically, everything that is in the soft tissue and in other parts of the body, they may exist also in the GI tract. So that's the thing, have a broad knowledge of all these other lesions because you're going to apply in the GI tract. There is somebody here, I think last time that I was going to do GI. Who is there anybody that's going to be doing GI here? Please don't, Rifat. Oh, I thought that somebody else, Rifat. There was somebody else?
Yeah, I think Wei was there.
There was somebody working with Dr. Haidu.
Yeah, Dr.
Yeah. I forgot his name. Yeah, I saw him multiple times. It was with Haidu. Yeah. So you're gonna do GI also?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. You're gonna steal my job.
I will ask you for a job.
That's it. You're young guys coming in and getting the job, then we're getting out of the market. That's perfect. That's life. That's okay. You're welcome. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we're taking already applications. Have you checked? When is that? Do you have a fellowship?
Yeah, yeah.
No, oh, you do. Okay. I thought that you're applying still. Yeah, they're all the time also hiring people there because the department is expanding so fast. We are now 12, I think 10 to 12 GI pathologists there. It's huge. Does anybody want to take this? So it looks like antral, right? They're all antral lesions. This is a female with antral lesions. So what we just finished saying, like at the beginning of the conference, I told you guys that tumor. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, why not, right? The whole thing here is that this is not a schwannoma. So you do have this. I just brought this case because I'm not gonna try to fool you. This is a case that probably we're not gonna be able to figure out. So the reason that I'm bringing this case is that you can see it's a spindle and it's epithelioid sometimes, right? And again, you're going to do all your stains, and sometimes they're not really particularly, positive for one or the other stain. So you go with your panel that I just told you. But we from NYU, we thought that this could be a leiomyoma. Leiomomas are not very frequent in other than the esophagus, which is just is not is the second problem in terms of frequency. And the rest of the GI tract is just, but you do also see leiomyomas, of course. So we thought that this spindle appearance was very muscle-like, and we did all the stains, everything was negative, except that I think the desmin or SMA was focally positive. And we thought that this could be a leiomyoma. Again, sometimes what helps, it's like, if you can identify the muscularis mucosa, or because usually they come from the muscularis mucosa, right? As opposed to the esophagus, which is the deep muscle. Sometimes you see the tumor rising from there. Sometimes you see things like, vessels, they're rising from the wall of the vessel also. It can arise from there. So we felt that this could be, even though these things were not really characteristic. And again, so I think the clinician asked us to send to Memorial, and Dr. Antonescu, who is the soft tissue person, right? You guys know of her. She's very famous. And in the end, she just said, this is one of these spindle cell lesions, unclassified. The bottom line here is that there was no evidence of malignancy in terms of like the invasion or necrosis or mitosis or pleomorphism, everything else. But you don't know exactly what it is after doing a lot of stains. And that's why I think that because of these advances in molecular pathology, I think that these mesenchymal lesions, they're going to be pretty much also classified by the molecular basis.
Right.
So I think that, whoever is trying to do molecular, I think this is going to be the next generation. That's what's going to be people, we're going to be able to classify these tumors. But until then, just be honest, you just say, I can't classify, I can put a name on this. I had an attendant at the Anderson, Dr. Harry Evans. He described a low-grade fibrolytic sarcoma and tons of other tumors. And he would say, you have to be honest. If you can put a name on the tumor, you just say, unclassified. And I think that was the case here. I still, think that morphologically was kind of like similar to a leiomyoma in a way. But again, all these things, let me just, dog1, CD117, S100 was negative. ALK, why did I do ALK? For what? Yes, that's correct. Caldesmon was, just, I think there was focally positive, not here. Here, not focally, right? But it looks like that it's positive in this area here. So we kind of felt that, because of that, this would be because the cells are there. And we felt that this could be, but she felt that this is, just reaction and some myofibroblastic proliferation. I don't know. I just don't know. The bottom line is that the patient is all right up to now. The myogeny was questionable. The C34 was negative, and the SMA, to me, was positive. And she said that she repeated the SMA and was negative. So it goes back to what antibody are we using and which antibody they are using. So be careful with that. And again, we had a case that our P40 was positive on a GIST. Some mesenchymal tumors can be positive. So the GIST had this epithelioid pattern and looks like almost like the squamoidish. And I don't know if I mentioned this last time, but the pathologist called the squamous cell carcinoma. And then we went back and did the dog one and this c-kit and was positive. So what happened was that antibody was staining positive for everything that was P40. I mean, the P4 antibody was staining everything positive. So all the tumors that probably was signed out at that time, they were like square. I mean, we are laughing, but it's bad, right? Meaning you have to know exactly what is the antibody that you're using. So again, as a pathologist, it's not only looking at the HNEs and the stains. You need to put everything together. And I tell you, you have to go by your morphology to understand your stains. And always question, people in your lab and all that. That's the point. Challenge them. Otherwise, they're going to go to jail, like I tell you, and nobody's going to visit you there. You're going to be very rotten. I mean, not that you want anybody to visit you, but. Okay, so I have 10 more minutes, and I'm going to speed it up because I have some interesting tumors. So again, I shouldn't be showing this because this is probably some repetition. I just want you to tell me, based on morphology, what do you think? And I'll show you exactly the correct stains for that. Okay. Any guess? See, you guys are thinking of that I'm not going to be showing gist, right, anymore, and that's the question here. Yeah, it looks like a laromanoma, some of the cells, right? And then you can go and see the CD117. So I'm showing this because it can be really, really spindle, that it really makes you think of something else. So if you have a spindle cell lesion, you need to think of GIST again. The whole purpose of this is just that GIST is going to be always on your differential. I'm not going to go in terms of showing all the other features because now I'm going to show you not the GIST anymore because we need to know something beyond GIST. This is a very cool one. And you're not going to see that much in your lifetime. Uh-oh, this is not fine. Hold on a second. Sorry. Can't believe that. This one. Let me take this away before we get confused. Okay, let's move on. So we are now in the intestine, right? Colon. Quick. You go ahead, describe.
You have looks like nests and cords of cells that are beneath the muscular layer. They're polyovascular spaces. The cells appear to have a polygonal shape. There's some clearing around some of the nuclei. I would appreciate any significant mitosis in this field.
Okay.
There are layers where that's almost like I call it a clear cell appearance.
So if you see clear cells, what do you think? Just good. Yeah. I mean, hey, in the GI tract, just right, because you can have clear cells. But I think that it's very almost like a vascular type of lesion, right? Almost. And when you see clear cells with tons of blood around, you have to think of metastatic renal cell carcinoma, right? Clear cell renal cell carcinoma, adrenal carcinoma, and then you go into the clear cell route, which is like the sugar tumor of the lung, the ones on the urinary tract, right? Which is like, the uterine clear cell sarcomas or clear cell tumors, clear cell sarcomas of the soft tissue, everything, which is the melanoma, everything. And then the others, which are, these are all part of one big family. What is that family? The picomas. This is a picoma of the colon. They're very rare, but they do occur again. So then, you have to know that the clear cell tumors, also they do happen, including the clear cell sarcoma. They also happen to be seen in the GI tract. So what is the number one stain that you want to do? So again, if you see clear cell tumors, think of the picomas and also think of the metastatic tumors to the GI tract. And that's the point of this case here, okay? And if you're suspecting that this could be a picoma, what is the stain? What is a picoma?
HMB45.
HMB45. And what is a picoma? What does a picoma stand for? Yeah, so perivascular epithelioid cell tumors, OMA, right? So picoma, which includes all these tumors, the LAM, right? Lymphangiomyomatosis, right? And then the AML, which is the adenomyoepithelial or epitheliomas, right? Salivary glands and all that. This is HMB45. And the HMB45 was the only one marker that was positive, not even melanoma or anything else, right? Because this is what? What is the origin? It's a myomelanocytic origin, right? So then you would expect the HMB45 to be positive, and see how positive it is here. So I'm so sorry that I can't really show all these things that I have to show you that they are negative, but you're gonna have to trust. So this is a picoma, which is not frequently seen in any part of the body, much less in the GI tract, but you do see it in the GI tract also. So GIST also comes in the differential because you have GIST, which is like clear cell, right? Like purely clear cell. And then you think that this could be a clear cell sarcoma or any kind of sarcomas with a tumor with the clear cells, including a picoma and also a metastatic renal cell and adrenal cell, because that's how it was described back in 1964. These picomas were described because of this resemblance to renal cell, clear cells, and adrenal cell carcinomas. Okay, so just anything that I told you now, and think of picoma being part of these tumors also. Okay, so the next one, if I'm not really messed up here, I don't know what happened. Everything was perfect yesterday when I put it together. Let's try to do this. 8, 6. This was here. know what? Let's do this. Anybody want to take this? Oops. Come on, it's good.
Cut epithelial appearance.
Yeah. So it's got this epithelioid appearance, right? Again, if it is epithelioid, I'm showing you this. This is called desmin. Is it positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive. This is desmin.
Negative.
Negative. So I have here SMA that was negative. So what do you think? And CD117.
CD117.
CD117 was negative. We saw this tumor before. See? You said epithelioid. Morphologically, we just saw one. The glomus. So it's, again, see how it is? It can, sometimes it's very condensed because it depends. Sometimes it's very vascular, like we saw the other one, the vessels, and all the cells around making this parasitic, type of thing. Sometimes it's very condensed, very solid, so with less vasculature. So epithelioid type of tumors, I also think of glomus when it's solid like this. It was not vascular like the other one, but if you go around, you can see there's some vasculature again. But again, you're gonna need your stains. But see, this is the area that was similar to the other one. And usually, right? You remember this area here? It looks like the outside of the cells are migrating from here, right? But sometimes you just have this, specifically on a biopsy. Do you know what I mean? This is an excision, so it's different. But sometimes that's what you have. So think of glomus also when you see tumors like that. Okay? I do have one more here. One second. These you guys gonna nail it. What is the area that I want to show? I have to leave. I'm sorry. Today is not a good day that I can extend. What is the cellular element that you're thinking that it's dominant here? Eosinophils. When you see this in a tumor that, apparently it's supposed to be spindle like this, right? I mean, you would like to see this granulation tissue type of pattern with tons of eosinophils in a spindle cell proliferation type of thing. What is the thing that you think first? I mean, if you want to say GIST, because we are in a possible GIST conference, you're allowed to, but there is something else that it's defined by this granulation tissue appearance with tons of eosinophils, that it's usually, yeah, CD34 positive, and what else?
And
PDGFR.
PDGFR, right?
Yeah, but there is one stain also. You know, it says it's
CD34.
It's okay. I guess, yeah. CD34, yes. CD34 is the one. Look at this. This is the area that, you know, it's more prominent. They're trying now. In the past, they were called inflammatory fibroid polyps. They usually occur like in the stomach and also in the colon, you know, left side. Not very frequently in the small intestine, but they now they see more and more. And now they think that this is not just a polyp, this is a tumor. That's why it's coming to now. The terminology is changing, and it's going towards like the inflammatory fibroid polyps because tumor, because they also behave as a tumor, you know, as opposed to just a simple polyp. This is a CD34, and you can see that everything gets highlighted. See this? The things that, you know, we didn't even see clear cut in this section because it becomes like very edematous, very inflamed, but you see it's diffusely positive everywhere you go. You cannot have that, you know, diffuse positivity if it's not an inflammatory myofibroblastic
Tumor.
fibroid tumor. Yes.
Yeah. You don't have any of the onion skin, right? You see around
yes,
the
if we look it around, we're gonna see it there.
Okay.
It's just that no, it's becoming difficult to find this. But let me show you also. I do have this one, which I think it's important for you to see it. So this is stomach, right? And then you have this guy here. Spindle cell lesion or not?
Spindle cell lesion.
What is your differential?
Just schwannoma, leiomyoma, leiomyosarcoma.
Okay, if this is a smooth muscle cell tumor, is this a leiomyoma or leiomyosarcoma? Of course, if I stop the slide, right, and then you can see the cells, but I'm trying to find an area here, but probably you would tell me what you think.
Very
Do you see mitosis usually in leiomyomas? Probably not, right? Symplastic leiomyoma, kind of. Leiomyosarc, tons, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is SMA. All positive, right?
Usually positive.
Strongly positive, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is Ki67.
Wow.
This is a leiomyosarc. They're rare. Leiomyomas are rare. Leiomyosarcs are even rarer. Okay? But again, I usually don't do Ki67, but on these mesenchymal lesions, I'm starting to do specifically if SMA. That means it's positive. They are positive because I'm afraid of it's in a leiomyosarc. So I think it's worth it to do it. There is one thing, which is I think you guys have to check. I think it's PHP3, which is bad, PHP3. The Ki67 gives you the proliferative index, but it doesn't tell you like in terms of mitosis. So this saying the PHP3, it's really good. I think it's PHP3. Check and get back to me, Rifat.
Which will only stain the mitotic figures. Right? It only stains the mitosis.
Yes. I think that's
the histone.
The
histone thing?
I have no idea. To be honest with you. I don't want to say anything. So again, small intestine, spindle cell proliferation, What is that? Differential diagnosis. I want you to say like ad nausea and ad vomiting, so
Just
that you never
like-
forget, right? Since we are now on the GI tract.
Just leiomyoma, schwannoma.
So what is your bet here? One thing that we all forgot.
Yeah, fibromatosis.
Fibromatosis, yeah.
Yes, yes, that's a good thought. Include this in the differential because it can be, like literally arising there in the mesentery or the omentum, retroperitoneum, or whatever,
Yeah.
in the wall, and it's like literally encasing that, wall and makes into a tumor, and people don't think because you are so obsessed with that list of these 4 or 5 tumors that you don't think about that. Remember, you have also solitary fibrous tumor, right? That you have to include.
Yeah.
So here today, you learn about leiomyomas. Leiomyosarc. I have a leiomyoma. I think I have still time to show just a counterpart. The different type of GIST, the unusual tumors like the glomus and picoma. Then you have the inflammatory fibrotic tumor, I think I just said, and desmoid tumor, right? And then what else? So what do you want for the desmoid tumor? What is the number one beta-catenin, and why is that?
CTNB1.
Why? But why is that? You have beta-catenin. This is beta-catenin, and it's positive, right? It needs to be nuclear, and I think it is. I hope so. Yeah. So why is that? Because the association with APC, right? So this APC, the Neonatus familial polyposis coli, right? APC gene in the FAP. So they do have this mutation, this the beta-catenin, and they express that also. So this is associated with which syndrome? Yeah. Gardner. What do we have in Gardner syndrome?
Bone.
You have
Bone.
bone lesions. Yeah. Which type of bone lesions? Osteomas. Yeah. You have skin lesions, right? And what else? Colon polyps, right? And this desmoid thing. So yeah, this is an association. It's important because when you see that, you call the clinician and ask them, did you check if this patient has any osteomas or cutaneous lesions or anything else? Because then it's one more reason for you to make, not one more reason for you to make the diagnosis. Everything falls together in terms of you making the diagnosis. That's when also you impress the clinician because you look at it and you say, there is something here that it's, pointing to this direction. I think we have time for one more, and I'm leaving, right? It's 9:10. Sorry, it's kind of like, I thought that I had everything, very organized here, but apparently I didn't, which is a pity, but what is that? It's a spindle cell lesion, right? Spindle cell lesion. It's kind of spacing out, right? The cribs here.
Yeah.
Dilated blood vessels.
I don't even know.
IFT.
Maybe solitary fibrous tumor.
Yes. Yes. Again, when you see this proliferation of
blood vessels,
these blood vessels, I think that we also would have some eosinophils. But one thing that I wanted to call your attention is that if you see these crypts, they're kind of spaced out like this because of this process. You should also think of inflammatory fibrotic tumor. So this is one of the characteristics, is that specifically in a biopsy, when you get, because they can be tiny, right, polyps. So if you see the glands, they're spaced out with the spindle cell proliferation. Remember that sometimes, if there is a polyp and you see that, this could be pericryptal fibroblast that proliferates, okay? And then they can just get the crypts just apart from each other. But if they see a polyp, most likely this is going to be IFD, specifically in a biopsy. It's a good clue that, the crypts are, like spaced out because of this proliferation there.
Okay.
So you do your CD34 and it's going to be positive. It's a great thing. So this is the reason that I brought this. This is not even because of that too much, but just because for you to see that, So this is a good clue for that. Okay. Guys, thank you so much. Sorry, I was.
Yeah, that's